Hi, welcome to Tennis Treasures. I'm Coach RJ, alias Richard Jackson, and welcome to our next YouTube video. Well, this one's different, all right. We want you to identify your strengths. It's called advantages that you have over your opponent, okay? That's a big deal because a lot of you are too critical of yourself, of your own game. You're too hard on yourself when you're in the tournament arena. As rough as it is growing up, being a young person, and being thrown out there where you have to prove yourself over and over and over. Really? I mean, you have to solve problems on demand on the tennis court against unique tennis players from all over the place. Sometimes the parents don't realize the challenge that the kids are going through these days. We at Tennis Treasures understand it. In fact, it's our purpose to help take off the heavy lifting off of our clients. Yeah, this is a virtual tennis camp I'm talking about here at Tennis Treasures. If you want to find out more about that, go to the description below, hit the link, and we'll set up a quick 30-minute conversation. But it's the heavy lifting that's driving you crazy. And it's not easy, and a process to handle that. I mean, who wants to go through that kind of stress? You don't want to be stressed. We want to help take away some of that. How do we do that? With a military campaign. We got a training manual. Here it is, and it's heavy, it's robust. It's got 12 chapters. It's sturdy. It can handle international travel and soft luggage. It's that nice. I'll give you a show and tell real quick. 40 photographs, 11 URL videos, and on and on. There's a 24 question and answer quiz in the back just to make sure you know what we know. This comes with the package. And the person on the front cover, David Ferreira, under the radar of the media, has made over $30 million. And he's not real tall, he's 5'7". He doesn't have a huge serve, he doesn't have that. He doesn't have some big forehand or giant backhand. He doesn't have any of those things. Yet, he's got something, and that's where we come in. We want to make sure you've got something that's of great value. We want you to identify it. Okay, agreed? So, you have advantages over your opponents, and you just haven't identified them all, that's all. There's something unique about every tennis player, especially if you're in the tournament segment of your life. Then yeah, you need to be clear about what you can do that's different and unique and special, and eventually evolve that into what you could call a secret weapon, an SW. And then we want you to have more than one secret weapon. And then we want to show you how to use those secret weapons. Anyway, you get the picture. So let's keep going forward. We don't want you to be too hard on yourself. We want you to be confident in yourself and identify what your strengths are and strengthen those even more. So here's an example of a good question. If you have a decision to make that says, what do I focus on at this time in my tennis career? Do I focus on my weaknesses or do I focus on my strengths? And that's a good question. So we have an opinion about that. And I'll tell you at the end. I'll keep you in suspense. Okay, so let's talk about your hidden strengths. First, you identify it as a possible strength. What's an example of that? If you're a lefty, then you need to realize that, yeah, I got a lefty kick serve that drives everybody crazy. And that's quite right, because it's bouncing the opposite way of what they're programmed to expect. So they're going through a lot of tricky turns. Well, that could be not only your strength, but also your SW. That's a good thing. And then that means you got to use it at the right time. That's the way secret weapons work. All right, don't also forget about the big five that we suggest you have. You can still work on what you're working on with your identifying your strengths, but don't forget about the big five that allows you not only to win matches, but also to win tournaments. And of course, if I can review that real briefly with you. The first thing is, are you gifted? And of course you are, because you're playing in tournaments, but how gifted are you? So we help you to determine on a quantitative scale how gifted you are. We can do that with you. You'll see it makes total sense on a scale of 1 to 10, including half points. Second, we're hoping you don't have any reoccurring significant injuries. These are the big 5 prerequisites before you can go out there and start winning a lot of tournaments. Because if you got that going on, we got to figure an answer for that. We got to solve that problem. All right? 3, you are mentally pliable to our suggestions, ideas, and different concepts that we bring to the table. We come across differently than their traditional coaching approach. Our goal is to help you leapfrog forward into your career. That's why we say our mission is to expedite your tennis goal, not to make sure it's on time. But you have to be mentally open to these different approaches that we bring to the table. I mean, the multiple types of serves, the way to practice your lobs. Nobody practices a lob. Very few people. Things like that. The unique part of tennis that goes untalked about. And our information is not pulled off of, some kind of theory we have. It's from the top players on the planet. We dissected what makes them tick and figured out how to transfer that into language that we can share with you. That's where we're coming from. Now you're getting the idea. So, okay, that's 3. 4 is you want to have the skill, the foot speed, the patience to be able to hang with your opponent on long rallies. If you can't do that, it's going to be a rough road. The top pros can do it. They don't like it, but they can do it if they have to. And that's where Djokovic had trouble early in his career. He didn't have the stamina, so he had to change his diet to make sure he was healthy enough to pull this off, and that worked for him in his case. Everybody's different. So yes, you have to be able to maintain long rallies with your opponent if you want to have a long rally, and sometimes you do, depending on the situation, depending on the score, depending on a bunch of little knick-knack things or some important things. Now, the 5th one is to, how can I put this correctly, is to be strong in work ethics. There we go. We don't want you to be lazy. We don't want you to say, I don't need to practice as much as everybody else, and on and on. We want you to have strong, always present work ethics that keep you ahead of the pack. Now, in our case, with regards to our training, you don't have to hit thousands of one particular shot and thousands of another shot to get it locked into your muscle memory. We have another approach, so you're not working as hard in that respect. Okay, working hard in your case might be more like keeping the open mind to try different things and master those. For example, we want you to master within this training manual specific chapters that make you tremendously powerful, starting with chapter 4 all the way through 9. Don't forget, there's 12 chapters total in here. Those are heavyweight. That's 5 key chapters right there. And ideally, if you had the time to work with us even longer than the training camp is 6 months. Yeah, you'll get almost like a degree, like a master's degree in the science of tennis. Think about that. But yeah, that's chapter 12. If we have the time, we can like you to try to master a part of that if you can. That's the all-star chapter, chapter 12. Each chapter is unique and different and special in their own way. Trust me. I mean, one day I'll go over 3 chapters, maybe 2 or 3, just in brevity, just so you get a feel for some of the variations that we offer. So there you go. Now you have it. There it is. We want you to identify and be clear about your strengths and not be too hard on yourself. We want you to recognize them, identify them, and just make them more powerful. Make them an extreme gift, not just a strength anymore. Turn it into a secret weapon. Make yourself special. And then still work on the big 5. Don't forget those. This is how you win tournaments with the big 5. and you add your special to it also, a special secret weapon here, a special secret weapon here. Before you know it, you've morphed into somebody else. Well, thank you very much. Don't forget to hit the description below and then open up that link. And what's in that link? That link is going to show you how to find us and talk to us and ask questions. So thank you very much. Have a wonderful week, and I'll be in contact.